Hello everyone, welcome back to Schedule 1. Today we're going to be continuing on with what we were doing in the previous episode. Oh, I forgot I can't get through here. So I'm thinking right now, obviously, but no, we need to like actually get mixing and doing stuff, starting to get some income, because our dealers don't have a lot of product left and we need to supply the new guy as well. Um, so we need to start getting some product making, and we need to set up the barn fully. Although we probably won't get set up on the barn. Um, Actually, I was just thinking about it. I think I'm gonna have a complete change of plans. I'm thinking I just literally what I do is I continue setting up the barn, and then I, what's it called? Sorry, I'm just getting back and forth thinking. So I'm thinking I completely set up the barn and get the barn operational, and then I um, make a bunch of product off screen. I feel like that'd be better use of our time because I feel like sitting here and watching me mix stuff isn't too entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll see. Well, I'm sure there'll be some mixing eventually. Plus, I mean, these guys are just kind of sitting here not doing anything right now. So we have like all we need to do actually is like for the growers, right? Let's get out our board. So for them, all we need to do is actually set up the places where they can like supply stuff. I don't know how many supply sources we can set up. Let's see here. Because if like I want to have a rack dedicated to each major thing, you know what I'm saying? So like that, and then only one rack per person. Okay. Or well, only one rack like can be selected. Not necessarily per person, but you know what I mean. So if I select that rack, this is a learning experience for me, of course. If I select this rack, can I come and select it with another rack or another person? So this person, for example. All right, so they can have the same rack. All right. So these three will have those three racks. And then we'll put this would be all those guys. Um then let's see here. Um Cleaner. Okay, don't even need to bother with that. I need to figure out how the cleaning actually works. Handler. So what is routes? What does this mean? From so like here to here, for example. All right, so I'm guessing after, huh? Okay, so after they handle it, so doing whatever I tell them to do, then they will just throw it up, I guess. And then our chemist, there he is. So let's get some assigned stations. So if we assign this station to him, can we assign what he's making? Or do we just put it in there and then he... Oh, wait, can we make the handler... All right, so let's say we like made the handler take stuff. Here, let's get rid of this one. Can we make him take stuff from a rack, like from example this rack, and then put it on in here? All right, we can. So what I'm thinking is we set the guys obviously to grow and all that. We throw their stuff up here. Then what we do is we figure out how the cleaners work, and then which the cleaners will just see if they pick it up only in the area or if they whatever, you know. And then we start dealing with all the like mixing and blah 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 blah. But I don't know what's gonna happen when I actually like the product's done. You know what I mean? We'll just have to see. This is a completely new experience. I've never done this before, and this is my first big operation. So that's pseudo. We still need to get some some of the big monies, some of the cocaine and stuff making. Damn, he's at the construction site. Okay. Um I just want to set the barn up for weed and stuff right now, though. I want a massive weed operation. I'm sure the other stuff makes more money, but still. I mean, I started doing this, so I want to finish setting it up, you know? And then we can turn the other places into, like, cocaine and stuff. Because I don't imagine it's going to take, like, a massive operation to set up cocaine and stuff. I'm sure it'll be quite a bit, but probably not as much as, whatever it's called, like the other stuff we'll have to set up. All right. So let's say I bought 40. All right, so let's buy. They come in stacks for. Okay, they come in stacks, so we need 30 more. That's how much we can carry. So that will be our product for now. And then that will get us like completely sorted for just the amount. And then we just throw that on our rack. Watch this, watch this. Damn, that's unfortunate. I seen something on a short, I believe it was a YouTube short, about like someone was talking about how the developer mentioned that police are going to be able to raid your places in once the game releases, I believe. I'm like, how would that even work? Because like I feel like if they were to come to the barn, right? Like you walk in and you're like, I wonder what all these are for. Huh, I wonder what these machines are for. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how you would even like go about hiding the whole, you know, making or growing weed. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see here. What else will we need? We'll need soil, of course. So we'll go purchase soil. We'll purchase the medium life soil. It lasts us for 3 uses. Because, I mean, it's just more cost efficient and time efficient, I believe. Actually, I don't think it's cost efficient. I think it's like $5 more. But it's time efficient. Which I guess isn't a huge deal. It's just like, you know, might as well, right? Our boy Dan, what is up? Yeah, like, yeah, so 2 grows. I mean, it's 10 extra, but it's just a little bit more efficient, you know? And that's crazy. 60 for 3 grows is... Nah. Nope. Let's see here. Let's just get... If we get 20, that'll be 40. Alright, and then we get 30. That'd be 60. Alright, so 60, 35. Wait. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we need? Let's just grab... Let's grab a couple more large storage racks, honestly. We'll need to set those up, I'm sure. Yeah, there's just gonna be a lot of board riding around on this episode, I believe. A lot of that and setting up the barn. You know how it is. Sorry, I just had to make sure I was actually recording. Because I've had that mistake happen before, and it's pretty annoying. But no, yeah, it's pretty chill, pretty chill. I hope that I actually am able to set this up and get it going correctly. Because I'm not 100% sure how the people work. Like, so, you know, you know what I mean. Like the one guys. I could honestly, like, let's say I do this and then that. No, that's way too tight. I could double rack it like right here to save space. But then it's like, I don't know. It's like a little uneven, you know what I mean? Like if I do it like this, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I'm keeping it like that. Then we can just boom, boom. If we need to move the trash cans, we can add extra racks back there. But just rack them up, you know what I mean? All right. I don't know if we need this much storage, but, you know, what else are we going to put there, right? All right. So, of course, let's add 10 on each. So that would cover plenty. Then let's go get baggies. We need a bunch of baggies. Actually, now that I think about it, I've never done it, but let's say I wanted to... No, not products. Deliveries. Dan's Hardware. Let's say I just wanted like 1,000 baggies. All right, I can order a... Wait, no. Can I order 1,000? All right. I can only order 100. Or well... Okay, $9.99, whatever. Let's order 200 for now. Damn, $1 delivery fee per? Okay, that's kind of crazy, but that saves a lot of time. Loading dock. Barn. And then we just place order. And then it arrives. Okay, that's so cool. Oh, damn. All right, I guess we'll... All right. We'll just go grab the trash bags ourselves because we don't need that many trash bags. You know what I mean? Like we need a fair bit, but like not a bajillion. You know what I mean? Actually, do the cleaners even use trash bags? You can't set them up on a storage rack, so I'm not sure. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just pick the trash up. We'll grab some trash bags because even if we can't use them in the barn, we can use them in our other operations. So we might as well grab some, you know. Plus, I just like visiting my boy Dan. It's nice seeing him, you know. Let's just grab 40, I guess. I would like to know how, like, actually figure out how, like, the chemist and the packagers and stuff work. I'm sure it's not that complicated. It's just like I feel like I'm overcomplicating it a lot. But you know, it's like part of the fun, right? All right. Let's just throw these on here. All right, let's see here. So we have the soil, the seed, we have the soil, the seeds. Can't really think of anything else. Let's see here. Not products. We need deliveries. Let's see. No, we don't need anything else from him. Yeah, nothing else from him. So is it 200 feet for anything? Let's see. Yes, okay. So we could order a bunch of stuff and then just get it with the fee, you know? Because if the fee's 400 or 200 guaranteed, right? We might as well order as much as possible. You know what I mean? Ooh, that's a lot. It's a lot. Order too large. What? Oh my god, of course. Of course. You can transfer 200 baggies, but not 400 pills. I feel like fucking pills are less space than baggies. Yeah, she's out of product. All right. Let's go start cooking up some product. Actually, I don't even know if we can cook any product. I don't know if we got anything to cook product with. Let's grab some pills at the one place that stays open all night. Because I remember we found that out last episode, I believe it was. Which was crazy. Didn't know any of the places stayed open all night, but that's awesome that they do. Alright. What is up, a big dog? Oh, we can get horse semen ethically sourced. I mean, fair enough, I guess. I was gonna ask, how do they even, like, collect horse semen? But I don't think I want to know. Now that I actually get to thinking about that question. Let's see, we can go through here. This is less police. All except these one guy that shit. Except the one guy that always fucking sees you, but I sucked right there and he seen me too much. That's my bad. Normally I can just like walk past that. At least I'm not wanted. I don't think they actually chase you unless you're wanted. Like they look around for you, but they don't chase you, you know what I mean? But like when I was wanted, the fucking police officer literally like chased me into the tree line and stuff. And I didn't know they did that. That surprised me. That actually kind of spooked me. Alright, yeah, it's chill, so this is dark bud, yeah, we'll just go ahead and start mixing up some dark bud since that's like, you know, double step, so it's gonna take a little longer. We got so much product here, we need to start mixing up. Man, the barn's really big. I wonder how big the next area is gonna be. Like, the next area has to be massive if the barn's, like, that big, you know? I think the next area is, like, an actual just whole-ass not sweatshop, warehouse, that's what it is. So, it seems like it's going to be pretty big. I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, honestly. I'm probably just going to do the same thing that I'm doing with the barn, except instead of weed, it's probably going to be cocaine and methamphetamine. I think that's the next products, yeah. Methamphetamine, cocaine. I wonder what other products they're going to add to the game. You know what I mean? Sorry, man. I'm not selling anything right now. My dealers are barely selling anything. Yes. Yeah, I'm just going to go collect the cash from Molly while that's doing that. Boom. Then let's go and then transfer this. And we can do a big, whatever it's called at our... I was going to hit him, like jump into him, hit him like I do normally do, but I realized I had like product on me. I don't want to like get caught with it somehow or some shit. No, when I was talking about the short earlier, I seen some shorts that were talking about how I don't like keep up with the developer of the game or anything. I don't really do that for any game, you know. But I seen some things talking about how the developer of the game was going to make it to where the police are actually like harder to escape from, and that they actually do, you know, more stuff, right? And they don't just kind of sit around. Like, for example, the actual raiding the property. And that would actually be crazy. Like, getting your shit raided, like, I don't know, if you're in the middle of mixing or something, would be insane. That would, like, dramatically improve the game, though. It really would. Because I do feel like the game is almost like, not necessarily, like, I really enjoy the game, but there is certain points that I do feel like it's almost like monotonous, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'll, like, make product, you know, launder, nearly, you know, walk by a police officer and they don't do anything. You know, that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily bad because I love the game, you know what I mean? This game's wonderful, and especially because it was made by, like, one person, I think? Like, which is crazy. I bought way too much. Meant to buy 40. Wait, no, I didn't. That's enough. And it's actually crazy, how good the game is. Because, like, the other game I mentioned playing, which I don't think I'm going to play on the channel, because some stuff came to light about the company who makes the other drug dealing game I was talking about. It's called Drug Dealer Simulator. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me actually make it first, big dog. Apparently they're kind of shady, according to some things I've seen. Of course, I'm not, like, confirmed on this, right? Because obviously I didn't really look into it a whole lot because I'm not really that interested. But apparently they are a little shady. So I don't really want to bother, especially since I do think it'd be kind of like a boring series because it's literally just this but worse. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Which is unfortunate to say, right? Because I want to give all games their fair shot and stuff like that. But it is literally just Schedule 1 with a more realistic, like, graphic style and a worse gameplay loop and less to do. Now, Drug Dealer Simulator 2, on the other hand, looks pretty interesting, and I honestly might end up playing that one. Now, the first one, no, I'm not. Not on the channel, at least. I'm still going to, like, play it to 100% in my free time, but I'm not going to play it on the channel. Which, you know, it is what it is, right? I'd much rather make, like, a game I actually, like, fully enjoy playing, like Dave the Diver, for example. I'd much rather play that or, another couple games I have series planned for than a game that it's mainly just monotonous, do the same stuff over and over. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Boom. So there's that made. And then our next product we need is Island Cum, which is just the weed and then the blues. Weed and blues. And then we'll make more Stinky Puke and more Island Cum after this. And I want to make enough for all my dealers. I want to make 40 Stinky Puke, 40 Island Cum, 40 Stinky Puke, you know, all that for the dealers. And I want to give it to all of them at the same time, so hopefully they, or relatively same time, so hopefully they, what's it called, run out at similar times. You know what I mean? All right. Then double, yeah. I should have enough to, yeah, I was gonna say I should have enough to, like, supply everyone, and I definitely do. But no, I have a series on the channel that I plan to play after this series I'm currently playing. Which I went ahead and started Dave the Diver because honestly I could not wait to play that. And I know I have 7 Days to Die, this game, and Dave the Diver now, and then just whatever other game I feel like playing at the time. And of course Minecraft too, but that's probably going to be a series for as long as I do YouTube, which, you know, I don't plan to quit, obviously. Especially not if I ever, you know, actually get monetized or anything. Um, but especially right now, even if I'm, obviously I don't really care if I'm getting monetized, right? Because I'm just doing this for the fun of it, love of the game, right? Um, and if I ever do get monetized, that'd be fucking wonderful. And then I definitely won't quit then, you know, because I mean it's everyone's dream to be a content creator. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people, you know, it's their dream to be a content creator because, quite frankly, it's an easy job, a really easy job, right? You sit there and play Schedule 1, sit there and play Schedule 1 for an hour, upload it, and then make like $30 billion, right? That's the content creator life. Obviously, you know, most people aren't making that kind of money, but still, so some people do. I I have a lot of respect for content creators, some content creators, because there are aspects of being a content creator that can't, like, you don't have to deal with in other, like, being a content creator, I would say, because I've worked a couple different, like, entry level, like, 9 to 5s, right? And I would say being a content creator, if it's like a full time job, would most likely be not necessarily harder than a full time 9 to 5, because it does depend on what you're doing, of course, right? Like I worked at a retail place, Save Lot specifically. Easiest job ever. Like, unironically, I put more effort into making these gaming videos than I ever had to do working at that place. But that was just because of the place I worked, you know. So there are, of course, other jobs that require more effort, you know, all that kind of stuff. Um, But I feel like being a content creator, it does take like a full time one, right? It does take a level of like consistency and I guess like endurance that a lot of people don't necessarily have. Um, because like when you're working an actual job, right? You're getting consistent returns. Um, but like for me, right, if I want to become a full-time like content creator, it's untelling how long it's going to be until I actually get monetized. I could get monetized next week, right? If like, I don't know, Moist Critical or like some big like YouTuber or something is like, yeah, go subscribe to this guy's channel, that kind of stuff, right? Or it could be 5 years from now. But the main thing is consistency, which everyone's always like consistency, right? With YouTube and all that. But it really is. It really, really is consistency based, and that's the same thing with a lot of careers. A lot of careers you can actually make something out of it if you're consistent with it. It just takes so long, and most of the time people can't maintain and keep that consistency. Um, but normally, like I mentioned earlier, when you're working an actual job, right, if you're trying to move up like the chain of command in an office, right, you're actually getting something from it. Even if you're a low position and you're just making like minimum wage, you're actually getting something out of it. But with being a content creator, until you get monetized, you're making nothing. You're doing it because you enjoy it. And if anyone's like watching this or whatever and actually wants to become a content creator, do not start it think you're going to make a bajillion dollars, right? You should be a content creator because you enjoy making content, not because there's a possibility that could become a like lucrative business in the future. Now, there are of course ways to game the system, right? Let's say you're a like content farm, and you hire like animators off Fiverr for like $5, and then you post like Bendy and the Ink Machine gets assaulted by Freddy FNAF Bear, Five Head Bear Man, and you get a bajillion views and a million subscribers in 20 seconds, and then you make like 10 times what someone who's working on a construction site, makes in 20 minutes, right? Like there's obviously ways to game the system. And unironically, if you're like interested, if you have the money to invest in something like that, like I hate content farms and like all that kind of stuff. If you have the money to invest in something like that and you kind of know what you're doing, it is very lucrative. It really is, because it takes like no effort at all. Um, I know there's this big content farm like triad that's ran by like assumingly the same person. And I get millions and millions and millions of views, and it's untelling how much money they make from that. Um, so there are ways to game the system, of course, like I said, but if you want to become like an actual like content creator, someone that's people respect to some degree, and not just like a parasite to the YouTube community, then you're actually going to have to put in the effort and the time. There are cases where like your stuff can become popular without you actually needing to have a whole lot of like sustenance. Not sustenance, that's not the right word. Have a whole lot of like product, right? Like a good example is like Queso. I'm not saying he's a bad streamer or anything, but he blew up because of like himself, not necessarily because like what he was like the games he was playing or any external factors, right? He blew up because he's genuinely like entertaining and like a good dude. Um, and there's a lot of ways to blow up. And all it really takes is like, oh, bro, I'm trying to fucking talk and yap, bro. Leave me alone. All it really takes is like, just one good viral moment if you're entertaining and people like you, and one good viral moment can make a career. It really can. Um, Now, of course, being consistent and all that is good, but there is a luck component. Like some people are like, yeah, YouTube is about making high quality content, which, high quality content helps, right? And I'm not going to say high quality content is bad. I love high quality content. That's the content I consume on YouTube. But when you're first starting a YouTube channel, if you like low quality is like better if you're just doing it as a hobby, right? So you don't get burnt out. Like if so, for example, the what's it called, the documentaries I was making, they're not particularly high quality, but it is still a lot more effort than just hanging out and playing a game. Which, if you don't know, I made a video, or not a video, but I talked about it. The reason I stopped making those documentaries is because I was getting tired of just repeating myself over and over. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many ways I can say that being a pedophile is bad and that you shouldn't touch kids or animals, which I'm sure, everyone understands. And I generally don't understand. Like, I love lolcow content, I watch it and all that, but I could not make it, for the life of me. I don't know how like people like Smokey MC and like Kiwi Tapes and them do it. It literally is so draining. Um, but besides that, like I was mentioning about like content creation and stuff in general, you really do have to do it for the love of the game because there's just nothing in it for you at the start. So there's definitely like some aspects that are harder than a like entry level position, especially like an easy entry level position, right? Um, but for most aspects, it's nowhere near as hard, especially if we're talking like physically demanding, right? I think it's no surprise that YouTube is not a physically demanding job, right? Like, oh, it's so hard moving my mouse around. Oh no. Oh, pressing this E key right now is really hard. Sitting here with my mic stand up is hard, stuff like that. I'm sure I'm sure everyone understands that that's not hard at all. It's more like the mental stuff, right? And like the consistency of the job. Not even job, just consistency of actually doing it. um, and it's nowhere near as hard as most jobs, but there is like some. It's not completely effortless either. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I know I've been yapping and all that. Um, I've been going on for a while now that I think about it. Probably like 10 or so minutes. Jesus Christ, my bad. But I just feel like content creation gets a lot of shit for it. Like I really don't understand why content creation gets so much shit. Like I understand some content, right? But like I'll be frank, I feel like content creating or content creators in general, they should not get nowhere near as much shit as they do compared to your other forms of media. Like the only forms of content creation that is like I feel like is as respectable as like actual like I don't know like YouTube content creators, right? Is like I would say probably like sports, right? Like I'm not a big sports guy, but I can recognize the amount of like effort and like time that goes into practicing sports and stuff like that. Sports and martial arts, stuff like that, physically demanding entertainment. But when it comes to like I don't know, acting, right? A big like I do not like see acting and like that kind of stuff. It has its own challenges, right? Anything has its own challenges, I should clarify. But I do feel like that being a like actor or like a movie star and stuff is kind of it has a fair bit of challenges similar to being a YouTuber, right? Like when you're starting off, you're not going to get any big gigs, and it's really luck based and stuff like that. But I do feel like generally speaking, because of the volume of content you release is less consistent, right? Like let's say you're a big time movie actor, right? All you have to do is look pretty like in one or two movies a year and make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But then if you're a YouTube creator, right, you have to look pretty or be funny or be entertaining every day or multiple times a week. It's not a one time a year thing. You have to consistently keep that consistency up and you have to make sure people keep viewing. And then obviously there's more public scrutiny too because you can have a slip of the tongue and say that you endorse Kanye or something just randomly and then you get canceled or whatever. Stuff like that. So I do believe that being like a big time YouTuber is harder than being a big time movie star. Like I said though, there are exceptions to everything, of course. So there is like I don't know if I'm talking about content farms, right? Anything is harder than being a content farm channel. Literally, I could go out here and like search the ground for pennies, and that would be harder work than running a content farm channel on YouTube. But it really just depends. But generally speaking, that's kind of how I feel. Of course, that's just my opinion, right? Um, I'm sure people, have varying opinions about that. That's just kind of what I think personally. I'm no expert in anything like that, of course, right? I'm not a big time YouTuber. I'm not a movie star or anything. Clearly, just some random dude on the internet, literally. So don't take what I'm saying, to heart or anything. It's just how I feel. That's me trying to avoid getting canceled, by the way. Dude, I something I've never understood is why like some like YouTubers or all right, I'm just gonna say so. Like for example, I don't. You're probably not familiar with Nux Taku, but he's a VTuber guy. He has a lot of controversies, and I used to like watch his content and stuff. I don't really anymore. I don't necessarily know what the controversies were about, and I don't really like care because I'm not really like bothering to look into it, and I'm not watching his content and stuff. Um, but there was I do know like a big thing about him is he's always like, yeah, I'm getting canceled again on Twitter. And when I was younger, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. The funny anime guy's getting canceled on Twitter again. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And then I'm like, and then he's like the 10th video I've seen, and he's like, I'm getting canceled on Twitter again. I'm like, okay, dude, this is just kind of, it's like, it's just kind of sad. Like even if there can't, I don't know what any of it was about. He doesn't really mention it a whole lot in the videos, um, from stuff I've seen. Of course, I could also be misremembering. It's been years since I watched his stuff, and this is no shade to Nux Taku at all. I don't know him, or I don't know like the stuff he does now or anything. He might make better content now. I really don't know. This is just like the stuff I seen when I actually watched him. Um, and so this is obviously probably a dated stuff. But it was kind of tiring. And I don't understand why there's people who like, not all attention is good attention. I know that's a saying that all attention is good attention, but it's really not. Like, it's good momentarily, right? Like, oh, these people are coming to my YouTube channel and watching some of my stuff. A couple extra views. Let's go. A couple extra dollars. But it damages your image. And eventually, if your image is damaged enough, then it's over, right? If people start hating you because they think you're annoying or they think that, you're just trying to write off controversy, stuff like that. I think the way Nux Taku got around it is that was kind of his image, the dude who got canceled, right? Like, from what I remember, he was always like getting canceled or whatever, and he kind of like embraced it to a degree. So, at some extent, he was almost like uncancelable because he just like it just happens so often, and his viewer base didn't really care that it happened because he was like using it to make jokes and be funny. This is just what I think, right? I'm not. Once again, I should preface by saying this is just what I think from years ago. So he could very well be like a pretty stand-up content creator now. I don't even know if he still does content, to be fair. Um, but yeah, I don't know what I should yap about now. I've just been yapping about YouTube stuff. Um, I got a quote on a 2D model. Um, so that's cool. It's not going to be anytime soon, because college, money, 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 stuff like that. Not going to be anytime soon that I get it, but I do have a quote on it. Um, and am shooting some design ideas and stuff. Now, of course, still going to be a similar model. Still going to keep up the Rhea bird like appearance because I love Rheas. They're so cool. But more detail, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Same art style. I really love Moth's art style, um, and they're a really good person. So, you know, I fuck with their stuff heavy. Um, and honestly, you should go check them out if you want a to see some pretty fire art. Um, I believe it's like mushroom underscore moth on Insta. I believe, like specifically. So you should check them out and follow them. Because they make some pretty cool stuff. Yes, so that's enough plugging for an acquaintance of mine. Um, but no, yeah. Um, I was looking into 2D stuff because I do want to have a 2D model for some time, and then eventually go get a 3D model. Which, oh my god, that'd be so hype. Um, I do have milestones in mind for like when I'm gonna debut the 2D and 3D. Um, I'm thinking at 1,000 subscribers, I debut the 2D model, and then at like 10K, I debut the 3D, 10, 20K, something like that. Because especially the 3D is a big investment. I don't know if you're familiar with how much like VTube models and shit cost, but that is expensive. That shit is crazy. Like, we're talking a couple $1,000s for like a basic model, and like I don't got that kind of money. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a broke ass bum ass college student. I do not got like $3,000 to throw around, especially not for something like a VTuber model. Now I had $2,000 to throw around for my computer, but that's different. Um, you know that's needed. I need to work. I need to make my YouTube videos. Come on, let's be real. Different situations here. Um, so yeah. So I think we're gonna finish mixing this. We're gonna deliver it to our dealers, and then we're probably gonna call it for today's video, because I it is getting a little longer in the video runtime. And I was wanting to like start making shorter videos, but I don't time myself when I'm making videos anymore. I just kind of let the time like naturally flow when I'm making the videos, and then quit when I feel like we hit a good point. Because I don't necessarily care about run length a whole lot. I do know shorter videos get like promoted more because like higher percentage of the videos watched and stuff. So like I do want to get more people watching my content. Speaking of that, you should go tell everyone you know about my content because my content is fire. Um, but yeah, what was I saying? Damn, that's crazy. I just completely forgot. I don't. What was that? Damn. Okay. I do not remember. I just had a. I I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Hmm. Uh, I don't know. Well, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter if I forgot. Oh, I was watching Tyler Oliveira's video about like soda addiction in Utah today, right? Because I watch Tyler's stuff. I actually quite enjoy his content. I think it's very informative. Um, and I do know some people got beef with Tyler Oliveira because like some drama and stuff, but I don't necessarily. From the stuff I know, I'm not like super familiar with the situations, but I don't honestly don't think it's that serious. Most of the stuff. I think he's a generally all right dude. Of course, I don't know him personally, like I've stated with most of the stuff I've talked about. Um, so like I'm not 100% sure, you know, but from his videos and stuff, he seems all right. And I watch his content quite a bit. So I remember in the Utah video he made, it was talking about like the soda addiction in Utah, and I know we have a very very big food addiction problem in America in general, especially when it comes to soda and stuff. Um, Now, I'm not much better with soda right now, but I have quit soda in the past, thankfully. And I do want to quit soda again. It just depends on when I actually feel like doing it, which I think now that I'm making this video, I will not drink soda ever again. I'm just deciding it. I will never touch soda again. After I upload this video, I'll never drink another soda. The soda I drank before this video is the last soda I'll ever drink. Cause like I quit drinking soda for like a good year, and then college started, and then I was like, yeah, soda sounds good. So I started drinking soda and stuff again. All right, so we got all our dealers lined up pretty nice. Damn, Arnie made 418 bucks. What the fuck? Yeah, got our dealers lined up good. Let's see here. How much more product do we have left? Well, we're gonna go to the base and save, but we'll see how much product we got left. Because we could probably make. All right, so we don't have enough for. What I was wanting to do was make 60 or 40 California dick, but I think we're gonna have to hold off for that. As a matter of fact, let's unlist that for sale for a while and just keep our big boys right here, because these are really good products, especially Island Come. Island Come's a really good money maker. But yeah. So thank you all for watching this video today. I know I was yapping a bunch. I normally don't yap a whole lot. I need to start yapping more in my videos, actually. I feel like I've done pretty good, actually, just consistently talking and just keep yapping, right? That's a big part of being a YouTuber as well. Thank you all for watching. If you would like to see more, hit that bell icon. 99.9% of you are not subscribed. Something like that. Subscribe, whatever, follow, whatever you want to do if you feel like it. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.